Hello, welcome. I'm Dina. We are so glad you joined us. And if this is your first time listening, this is Something podcast. And what we do on Something podcast is we talk about headlines, sometimes pop culture, sometimes just things that are on our mind. Sometimes we take quizzes to find out if we might be narcissists or something like that. We just kind of talk about everything. So whether you're folding laundry or you're out on your morning walk or you're sneaking a listen at work and we won't tell, or you're just trying to survive your commute, we want to keep you company.
We do.
So this is a place where you can learn a little, laugh a lot, and you don't have to worry about your kids or your Mima overhearing because we keep it clean and we keep it fun and we keep it real. Speaking of Mima, what did you call or do you call your grandparents? I don't know if they're all in heaven now or
Yeah.
Nana and Papa. I didn't know my mother's parents, and my father's parents. His father had passed away pretty young, like in his 50s, so I never met him. And then my grandmother passed away when I was like 6 months old, so I'd never met a grandparent. So I kind of feel like I missed out on that. But we called her Nana. I'm not sure. I think just Grandpa, but I like Meemaw. I would not want to be called Meemaw.
I think I would either, but a lot of people like it.
Yeah, I think it's cute. Now, if you had grandchildren, neither one of us have grandchildren. You will have step grandchildren, I would think. But what would you like to be called?
I am called Mimi.
Mimi. Now that's cute.
Mimi. Yeah.
Mimi. I like that. Could be much worse, couldn't it? I don't think anybody likes to be called grandma anymore. It's like grandma. I've heard grandma. Yeah, that's kind of a vanity thing, I think. You're like, I can't possibly be a grandmother. It's impossible. Diana, would you consider yourself a big worrier? Are you more like a warrior? 1 to 5, what do you think? One being, I'm pretty reasonable, but I don't really give a crap about anything anymore. And then 5 would be, I worry about that I told the waiter to enjoy his meal when he told me to enjoy mine in 2003. You're like, did I really say you too when he said enjoy your Do you weigh it like at night and worry?
1 to 5. So one is you don't worry a lot about much.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I'm more of a 1 to 2.
Really? Oh, okay. Okay.
Don't really feel like if worrying would be productive, then it's worthy. But I've never found anything productive by just worrying and fretting over something.
I agree. But sometimes you can't help it. Sometimes it's like how you process it. And some people have anxiety, and they
That's
can't
right.
help that. So I was reading an article about the top 5 things that people worry about. And I wanted to see if you could guess what they might be
One of the things people worry about.
in any order, just whatever pops into your mind. It's going to be hard for you since you don't worry about anything to come up with anything.
Financial struggles would be the very first one.
That is number one. Very good, girl. Okay. Yep.
Number 2, I would think their weight.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. No, actually, that's not on here. That's one thing I worry about. I mean, that would be like your health.
Right. Maybe that would be more under your health, worrying about your health. You're taking care of your body.
Yeah, it's not in the top 5, but go ahead. What else?
Okay. Probably worried about future with what's happening in the world today. Worrying where the future is going to be.
Okay. That might, I'll tell you what they are when you're done. I think you're kind of around in the right area, but anything else that pops into your mind?
Relationships.
Yes, that's number 4.
And wow, where they're going to eat tonight.
That's like the biggest problem, isn't it? Especially if you're in a relationship. Where do you want to eat? I don't care. Oh, no, not there, but not there. But I don't care. You decide. Anywhere but here.
Uncle Dan, anywhere but Crystal.
Oh,
I'm sure some people love Crystal.
uh,
Crystal, they just doesn't. I like them. They just don't agree with me.
mom and dad used to call them gut bombs. Let's go get some gut bombs. All right. Well, here's the top 5 from 5. Okay, number 5 is worrying about anxiety and depression. So you're basically worrying about worrying. I'm worried about that anxiety. Yeah. Now, depression is, real. It's a real thing. And so then you end up worrying about being depressed. So that is a real thing. Number four is relationship problems. So I get that. Maybe not having a relationship. That would be me. Number three, your job and career. Now that's separate from finances. I guess I'm in a dead end job or I'm not doing what I thought I might have been doing, or I'm worried about getting fired,
Right.
or I can't believe I'm 50 and you know, yeah, I don't want to say a career because I don't want to insult anybody's career. Number two, health and safety. And you said health, but it's the health and safety of your loved ones. So people have a tendency to worry about their loved ones' health more than their own. And number one, finally, is money and finances. Now, the good news is research shows, according to this article, that around 85% of things people worry about never actually happen. In a well-known, yeah. Now that means 15% does happen. You can look at it that way if you're a worrier.
85 to 15.
That's true.
Vegas anytime.
Well, that's true. In a well-known study, there's Dr. Robert Leahey. It was found that not only do the majority of worries fail to materialize, but even when they do, people typically cope better than they anticipated they would. They survived what they thought was unsurvivable.
Right.
And that's like the saying, the meme that says, I have survived 100% of all the struggles that I've been faced with because you're still here, you
You're
know?
still here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
This underscores how much time and mental energy is spent on unlikely scenarios, emphasizing that many of our fears are driven more by anxiety than actual risk. But I don't just like to present a problem and talk about a problem. I want to try to figure out what we can do about it because there are debilitating worriers out there. Overthinkers might be another term for. So here's some things we can do. I'm gonna see if you think any of them are good. The first one is name it to tame it. When you're spiraling, try saying out loud, this is my worry talking. This is not me. And you can even name it like it's your nosy neighbor. When the worry thoughts start marching in like a parade, just say, oh, hey, Cheryl, you're back, I see. Here to remind me about something dumb I said in 2009, which is what I was talking about before. Naming it helps you realize that's not you. That's just that mental guess that doesn't know when to leave sometime. I kind of like that. So what would you name your worry wart friend? You have to be careful because you have patients with a lot of different names. It's one of those.
Well, my dad used to be a big time warrior. So
Oh,
I guess I grew up around that. And I decided, because I saw him go through episodes where he was so worried. And then, like you say, sometimes it happens, but even when it does, you're prepared and you get through it and you get to the other side. And then a year later, you never even think about it again. So I just saw that activity so much and I saw how fruitless it was. So I would just, I always call somebody a worry wart. That's
yeah.
all I've ever heard.
Yeah, I guess you want to name it after your daddy because you want to tell your daddy to get away. Get out of here, Earl, or whatever your daddy's name is. Well, Karen's always a good one, although I feel sorry for Karen's because they get all the bad stuff. All right, I kind of like that one. So name it something annoying and say, get out of here, Frank, or whatever. I'll worry about you later, Frank. Okay, number two is do a worry dump. And I've done this before. You take all those swirling, anxious thoughts and you write them down. Just blurt them out onto the page. It doesn't have to be cute. Just treat it like a garage sale for your brain. Just get it all out. What if I did get fired? What if I have spinach in my teeth for 3 hours again? Just put it on the page, and it psychologically it tends to get it out of your brain. You've transferred it to a book, a worry book. So, yeah, journal your worries and get them out of your brain so you can actually function during the day. Number three, schedule actual worry time. This one sounds a little bonkers, but hear me out. Set a timer and give yourself, say, 15 minutes a day to just have a full-blown anxious episode. Then when you start worrying outside that window, you say, nope, my worry time is at 7 o'clock tonight. You'll have to call back, Cheryl, at 7 o'clock. Earl, whatever his name is, worry wart. So I think psychologically that makes sense because I've kind of have a tendency to do that. Okay, I'm going to do this at this time. I can't do it now, even though I'm anxious about it. right now I'm here facing this moment. So at 7 o'clock, I will do this. Do you think that's a good idea?
You compartmentalize it and you get it organized in your mind that you are addressing it, but you give a time limit on that, or you give a time reference of, like you say, 7 o'clock. I'm going to worry about that. That's
Yeah, I think you're right. That's a good idea. Number four, ground yourself. Get yourself out of your head and into the now. Do something small and real, like fold a towel, wash a dish, water a plant, pet a cat, hug a dog, maybe cry in the produce aisle. Anything that bumps you back to earth and reminds you, I'm here, I'm okay, I'm holding a cucumber in the grocery store right now. I am not in that what if anxiety world, just not floating freely through drama and worry. Or all right. And then here's what I was talking about, kind of make a quote, look what I survived list. Write down the stuff you've already made it through, big or small. Even though you know it in your brain, all the your horrible history that you've been through, all of us have it. If you actually write it out, well, actually, this has happened to me, and I'm still alive. I'm still here.
fantastic because it empowers you to now have control of that as opposed to it having control of you.
Yeah. You say, look what you did, girl, because you forget sometimes what you, and
How
there's,
strong we are.
yeah, and sometimes you don't want to share it with another person. This is this horrible thing I went through, because not everybody always knows all the horrible things you went through. But if you put it out in black and white, then you kind of pat yourself on the back for that. Okay, put down the phone. Sometimes we're anxious and then we scroll through 1,000 posts from people who seem like they've got their life together and they have a perfect pantry to prove it. I don't know if you've ever seen those things where people post and say, look, I've got all my food organized and all these color coded. Now, you do have a nice pantry, but not everybody does. So, you start worrying about your spice rack, and their spice racks in alphabetical order, and mine's like got little fuzzy things and little bugs. And so yeah, you know how you buy a bunch of spices to make one cake for Christmas and then you're never going to use coriander again.
Of course, you bought the big gallon jug of it.
Talk to somebody. Talk to somebody who doesn't just say, don't worry, just relax. Don't worry about it. Just relax. Somebody will actually listen to you and validate. I understand that you're upset. I understand this is happening to you. Just spill it out on me.
Right.
Find your safe people that
Yes,
won't judge you.
I like that.
And I think the safe people circle should be small because a lot of people are sometimes just nosy. They want to go tell, they can't wait to go tell somebody what you just talked about.
That's right. You disclose personal information. If you don't want everybody else to know, you make sure that that's a true trusted friend.
Absolutely. All right. So those are some
And you know
tips.
what?
What?
You know something, Dina?
What, Diana?
I feel that with you. My
Oh,
trusted friend.
oh, you're so
You've been
sweet.
there. Oh my goodness, honey, you've been there through 15 years of up and down with me, and I appreciate you, and you are always my safe place.
Oh, well, I feel the same way about you. I do. But we just have to remember when we're talking here, people all over the world can hear what we're saying. So we can't tell each other everything here.
My closest friend, and I trust you implicitly.
Oh, you're so sweet. Earlier, and I don't know if you looked at it, but I sent you a picture of a milkmaid dress so that you wouldn't be talking blind. We're actually recording via Zoom today, so we're not in the room with each other where we can normally share things and see things. But did you get that tip? Okay, that's okay, no problem. I'm gonna see if I can text it to you now. Let's see. Kendall Jenner went to Coachella. That's that big concert where fashion is really
Oh, yeah.
the important part of it. Normally the Kardashians are very sexually dressed and wear tight clothes and things like that.
All right.
She was in what they're calling a milkmaid dress. And a milkmaid dress, well, I would call it I call it a peasant dress, I think, in our day.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay,
Yeah, I
I'm
do.
about to send it right now. And so it was kind of unusual for her to be in something like that where normally she's scantily clad. So immediately everybody goes crazy, all the fashionistas, and says, we are supposed to like this dress. We are supposed to wear this now. Did you get it?
I do. Flattering on some people. I think it brings back a little bit of vintage look, if you will. It's not something that would look probably nice on me.
You don't think so?
No,
You don't like the long length of it?
because I'm only 5'3", so I don't have as much length room to pull it off, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, now and I was just looking up the actual definition of a milkmaid dress is a sundress style. I was going to say I kind of call that a sundress when I was younger. It's got a gathered corseted bodice and sometimes a square or like a scoop neckline. Sometimes it's sleeveless or it'll have the little puffed sleeves. So if you think about a milkmaid walking through a big green pasture with her milk cans, that's what it kind of looks like. Maybe with braids. There's usually ruffles. I think it's very feminine.
They're very feminine, especially with the corset kind of pulling you in. I think they can look really nice on some people.
Yeah, and if you think about it, any body, if we're going to talk about we like for our bodies to look good, and people are going to say, I don't care, I don't dress for men or what they think of me, or I don't care what I look like. But if you do, and I care, sometimes you can't tell it, but I care. I think it really cinches any waist and then it flares out. So you're covering a lot of, ho-hos and Twinkies with that big, your sweetness of choice. It just automatically gives you kind of that hourglass figure, I think, cinches you in. So I kind of like this trend. She's very thin, almost boyish, her body. So she could have had it tighter, I think, but she's probably very comfortable and look cute and cool. And
Yeah,
we're coming up on that weather that you want to be cool. Maybe have a little breeze up your skirt, not be wearing tight stuff.
for a wedding.
Yes, it would. It
Wear for
would.
a wedding.
Yeah, a lot of summer things. I think you invest in one. I'll include a link of some really cute ones that I saw on Amazon. And you could actually hem yours to hit you like just right below the knee. You'd kind of, I bet Dan would like it.
Why don't you pick me out one and I'll get one?
So we like to kind of try to keep up with the trends. We had an episode where we talked about blue jeans and the big barrel jeans and all that. I might not necessarily follow it, but as we're getting older, I kind of like to know what's going on, whether I participate or not.
I'm super happy you keep me in the know because I never pay any attention to any of that.
Well, generally, what we see in fashion, we've already been through once, so it's really not new to us.
Again.
It is, it is. So funny. Finally, there is a new color. Now, I sent that to you too. Scientists have discovered a new color called Olo, O-L-O. I kind of like that name. Kind of like YOLO, but it's Olo. What is your favorite color, Diana?
Actually, I do like that color, Olo. But my favorite color is red.
Yes, I should have known that. I should have known that. Well, this is actually my favorite color, but a little toned down, and it's an aqua green, a very bright aqua green.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So, in a breakthrough that sounds straight out of science fiction, scientists in the US have enabled 5 people to perceive a completely new color. Only 5 people. Now, you and I are looking at it right now, supposedly, so I don't know. I guess that makes 7 now.
I was just saying, we're on the list now.
It's one that no human has ever seen before. The color, described as a highly saturated blue-green, has been named Olo. The color cannot be seen by the naked eye without the help of stimulation by a laser, which scientists claim can open people to see beyond the normal gamut of color perception. Now, I would assume that they just maybe took a computerized recreation of it the best they could and posted it here. That's what we're looking at. We're probably not actually seeing the brilliant brightness of it. But I did not know this, but your eyes have cones in them. There's 3 different cones. I mean, so you may know this. I mean, I don't, you didn't study eyes, I don't guess, but maybe you did. And they're S cones as in Sam, M cones as in mother, and L cones as in Lisa. And each one has a different distance from your brain, so it perceives the color, and then they all mix together and come up with these different colors. So what they did is they took a laser and they manipulated the person's brain so that they could only see through an M cone. So nothing else was mixed into it. So it was a pure, vibrant blue-green hue. Now, I'm not sure what the point of that was, what use it is. And did like Doge miss it when they were going through all the wasteful money? I don't know. They missed the Amcon experiment.
Um,
Elon.
on and let him know.
They should have named it after him. He probably would have been for it then. Elon Olo. That's pretty close. Yeah. No, it's pretty close to my bathroom tile since like 1967. It's kind of not quite that bathroom tile, Dina's bathroom tile. Now I can see, would you use that in your life anywhere you think? Would you incorporate if they find a way to recreate it? I don't know if that would fit in.
Be beautiful on a wall, brighten up a room.
Yeah. Or we could get a MILKMAID dress in that color and we'd be like right in fashion, wouldn't we?
All right, well, you're on that. You're the one that's supposed to pick out the dress and the color, so check the
Exactly.
box.
You're so crazy. All right. Well, we've had a hard time getting together, listeners. We love to do this and we love the response we've been getting. And we've been charting, which is amazing, from all over the world. And we've just had a lot of life stuff happen. And we are now on Zoom communicating. We won't always do that, but it does make it a lot easier to do this. So hopefully we don't have technical difficulties today, but just be patient with us because we like to have an episode that comes out Wednesday or Thursday, midweek, and then on Sunday. And it just hasn't been working out lately, but we're still around. We haven't left. We haven't quit. Yeah. Hopefully we can be more consistent now that we can do the Zoom thing, but just look for us. If you'll hit the little subscribe, whether it's a bell, whatever it is on the program that you listen to us through, the app you listen to us through. If you do that, you'll get a notification when there's a new episode, so you won't miss out on it when you open that app. Yeah, and on Sundays we have, if you're a first-time listener, we have what we call Giggles and Gratitude. On Sundays, we talk about things that made us laugh throughout the week and what we're grateful for, and we talk a little Jesus because everybody needs a little Jesus.
Sure do.
And if you don't think you need a little Jesus, we'll help you join us anyway, because we talk about other things too. And you may get some questions answered and get some inspiration if you've been curious about God and Jesus and your afterlife, which is kind of important.
A lot of people have that on their worry list.
Yes, yes. I'm sure that was on there somewhere. If not, it should be. Should be. You shouldn't worry. There's answers. There's answers. And we will talk about that this week on our Giggles and Gratitude, incorporating this worry topic into our Sunday episode. So I can't believe it, Diana, but we're already out of time. Incredible. We're limited to our time on a Zoom call. So keep it short and sweet today.
All right,
All
we
right.
will do that.
And I thank you so much for joining us. And I thank you for joining me, Diana, and your insightful comments. And
You're welcome. And I hope everyone has a bright and beautiful day. And remember, put your worries in that little 15-minute box. And other than that, hit cancel in your mind and move on with life.
Yeah, get your worry journal out and name it whatever you want to name it. Irving, whatever you want to name your worry person. Mine's Cheryl. Worry, yeah. And I'm going to start looking for Diana's Olo's MILKMAID dress. I love you too. Yeah, bye guys. Thanks for listening.